If you've been watching the crypto markets in the past 7 days, you've seen an explosion of green on the charts. Bitcoin has reached an all-time high for the year and has returned an impressive return from just 1 year ago. There's signs of life in the altcoin market, and things are hinting at hope on the horizon in the middle of this brutal bear market, that the worst is behind us and that we very well could be at the beginning of a brand new bull market. But why is this happening? I want to answer that in detail today. As a blockchain developer who works with this technology on a daily basis, who's been a crypto holder since 2017, because I think things are rapidly changing for crypto, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to change your career and break into the blockchain industry and get ahead of the next coming crypto expansion, then I can show you how to do that over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp, because you may not have much time. All right, so let's get into this. So there's a lot of green in the crypto markets. What the heck is going on? Well, just like always, the crypto markets are a complicated mess of many different factors. You can't always say it's just one thing doing it, and even if it is, you don't really have a good way of knowing. The best thing that you can do is make some educated guesses and then place your bets accordingly. So that being said, I think there's 4 major things that have happened within the past week that are likely contributing to this heavily. So let me break those down one by one. All right, so the number one thing that I think is the biggest deal that happened in the past week is Ripple Labs notching landmark win in an SEC case over XRP cryptocurrency. So basically, a U.S. judge ruled that Ripple Labs, the issuer of the XRP cryptocurrency, did not violate federal security laws by selling its XRP token on public exchanges. And literally within hours of this happening, we saw Ripple, the crypto, jump 75% in valuation really fast, along with many other altcoins following suit. So why is this such a big deal? Well, number one, it's a big deal for the XRP cryptocurrency itself, because there's been this notorious saga going through the news for years and years and years of, is Ripple security? Did they violate any securities laws when they issued the Ripple cryptocurrency? And in this landmark ruling, the judge ruled that no, they did not when they sold it on public exchanges. Now, I don't think this is the final word on this just yet, because there could be other ways they issued Ripple that could have potentially violated these laws, and there could be other decisions made about this particular thing. Again, I'm not a legal expert, but this particular ruling is a massive win, not only for XRP itself, but for lots of other cryptocurrencies, particularly altcoins beyond just, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because one of the biggest things that's holding crypto back is the lack of regulatory clarity. Are all these different cryptos are issued? Are they securities? Are they not? Does that limit what you can and can't do with them? Does that limit the activities of major cryptocurrency exchanges who sell them? And if this huge win is an indicator of what we could do with crypto in the future, if we can fight against these things, then it gets us to a point of regulatory clarity and potentially really favorable regulatory clarity for crypto. Because without this, you have so many people on the sidelines who are not getting into the crypto space because they fear coming regulatory crackdown that could limit what they can and can't do with their assets or other businesses, building in this space. But if this ruling is any type of sign of what could come in the future, then it's a massive win, not just for Ripple, but the entire crypto space as a whole. And it's probably one of the biggest reasons we're seeing so much green on the charts in the past 7 days. All right, so big item number 2 that happened last week that I think is a major contributor for why things are changing is that former SEC Chair Jay Clayton says that approval of Bitcoin ETFs, the spot ETFs, will be hard to resist under these current conditions. So a little bit of background on this, on why this is such a big deal, why people are interpreting this as such massive news for the crypto space. I made a video a couple weeks ago talking about, BlackRock's application for a Bitcoin ETF and how that ETF alone could be a massive game changer for the composition of the crypto markets and a big contributing factor to the next crypto expansion. So why is that? Well, there's lots of reasons, but some of the big ones are that BlackRock is a $10 trillion asset manager. That's 10 times the size of the entire crypto market about at the time of recording this video. BlackRock is a massive institutional player. And if BlackRock, allocated just 1% of its funds to crypto, it would be a huge injection of liquidity into the markets that could easily fuel us to new all-time highs. On top of that, basically BlackRock means that the institutions are here, that they're hungry to invest in crypto, and that there's lots of capital on the sidelines just waiting to enter in this space. And ETFs, or exchange traded funds, could be a major way by which these players get exposure to this asset class. And they are such a big deal because institutions can buy in size in a way that you or I can't. So imagine, institution wants to buy $1 billion of cryptocurrency. That's not really out of the question for a massive institution to do that. And there's lots of institutions out there that could do that. And it only takes a couple of them to do that to really move the needle. Whereas it takes thousands and thousands and thousands of normal people like you or me to purchase crypto in the same way. And an ETF approval can pave the way for doing that. Now, The real problem is actually getting that ETF approved. We've seen lots of Bitcoin spot ETFs applied for the United States over the past several years. Many of them have gotten struck down. But just last week, former SEC Chair Jay Clayton says that the approval would be, hard to resist under these conditions. All right, so reason number 3 is that the latest CPI report just came out showing a 3% year-over-year change in the consumer price index for June of 2023. So what is that and why is it such a big deal? Well, one of the big themes for not just crypto, but the overall economy has been inflation. And the Central Bank of the United States uses the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, as one of the main measuring rods for what's going on with inflation. And they've long said that, 2% is their big target. And we're getting really close to that with this latest CPI report coming out at just 3%. And so let's unpack that a little bit further. So again, at the end of 2021 was the top of the last crypto market. In hindsight, things were obviously overheated in the crypto space, but a rapid change in interest rates is one of the biggest things that popped that bubble and has contributed to this horrible bear market that we've been in ever since. And again, I'm not trying to pretend to be a macroeconomics expert by any stretch of the imagination on this channel, but it doesn't take a genius to see that inflation is a problem, that the central banks are aggressively raising interest rates to fight that problem. And this has, affected things beyond just crypto, also stocks, real estate, pretty much any asset class. And all throughout this entire process, the mission has been to get inflation back down to that 2% target. And we're getting really close. And this has undoubtedly been fuel for the fire for the crypto markets as well, because crypto tends to thrive in a lower rate environment. Now, that being said, I don't necessarily think that the central bank is going to snap their fingers and start cutting rates instantly. We saw some comments just recently saying that they will probably maintain rates at the current level, and we probably won't see that 2% target until potentially 2025, and at which point they might start cutting rates. Now, that being said, this is still good for a couple reasons. Number one is markets are forward-looking. If people think that they're done, raising rates, even if they're just maintaining them, then there'll be lots of people trying to front-run the opportunity and allocate to crypto before they start cutting rates. And reason number 2 why this is such a big deal is because this could perfectly coincide with the 4-year cycle narrative for crypto. Now, in my last video, I just talked about how I'm not necessarily a blind follower of the 4-year cycle thesis, but if it does end up playing out, this could be a massive coincidence that could just pour gasoline on that fire. All right, so reason number 4 why things are changing in the crypto space that I also see as a massive win is that Google will now let Android Play Store games and apps offer NFTs. Now, I think this is probably the smallest factor in why we're seeing signs of life in the crypto space for now, but I do think that this could be a massive deal for the entire crypto space in the coming months and years. So why is that? Well, as always on this channel, I'm really focused on the technological advancements inside of blockchain. And there's many gatekeepers who are prohibiting some of these use cases from really taking off in the ways as they can. And one of that is with NFTs being issued on more like Web 2.0 platforms, things like the Android Play Store and also the Apple App Store, where basically you have users who are already interacting with the entire World Wide Web through their mobile phones that are cut off from access to the blockchain with things like non-fungible tokens or NFTs because the app stores just won't let them issue them. And there's lots of things that we can do with NFTs in the future, which I'll talk about here in a second. But one of the easiest low-hanging fruits to incorporate NFTs is into things like games, where you can win NFTs for playing games, or maybe you could take in-game assets and transfer them out of the application onto the blockchain with NFTs. And if we see the gates, completely opened up for this type of thing, then that could bring many more users into the crypto space via NFTs. And like I just said a minute ago, I think there's so many things we can do with NFTs, from ownership of physical items like real estate, intellectual property, and so much more, where we can incorporate our normal digital experience online in a hybrid way, but then have this Web 3.0 component on the background with NFTs where we transfer ownership on the blockchain. And this type of policy change can lay the foundation for doing that. And if we see this, removed from the Google Play Store, this could put competitive pressure on things like the Apple App Store doing the same thing. And if we have all the major app stores supporting NFTs and letting developers incorporate into their applications, then that could be a big inflection point for actual adoption of blockchain technology itself. All right, so that's an overview of how things are changing in the crypto space very rapidly just in the past 7 days alone. There's a Lenin quote that says something to the effect of, there are, decades where nothing happens, and then there's weeks where decade happens. Then there's weeks where decades happen. Crypto is kind of the same way, and I think we just saw a lot of progress happen the last 7 days that's contributing to some of the green that we're seeing on the charts, and in my opinion, is laying the foundation for the next expansion that is coming. Now, who knows how much time we have before that happens? I don't have a crystal ball, but if I were sitting on the sidelines thinking, what's the best way to take advantage of this opportunity? Knowing what I know now, it would be to jump in the field and learn the technical skills that you need to take advantage of this tech trend by becoming a blockchain developer, and to do it now before the next crypto wave happens. That's exactly what I did back in 2017, 2018, 2019. And when the massive 2020, 2021 bull market came along, I was way ahead of everybody else. And so if you want to do the same thing, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and then make sure you head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. I can show you the fastest way to break into the blockchain industry as a developer, how to increase your salary well past 100K. Trust me, you don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.